welcome back to the channel. I've already done this video for Instacart and Uber Eats, and since you guys liked it so much, I figured I would do a Doordash version, especially because there are always new Dashers. Maybe even more Dashers than any other platform, but I've been doing Doordash for about 4 years now, and have learned quite a bit along the way. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here are beginner mistakes that are commonly made, and I myself have also made. The first mistake I commonly see being made is being afraid to decline orders. As a Dasher, you're an independent contractor, which means you can accept or decline as many orders as you want. When I first started doing DoorDash, I didn't really read much into it, and I wouldn't let my acceptance rate go below 90%. It was a mistake because I was under the impression that I had to accept all these orders, and by doing so, I was missing out on some really good orders and also taking some really terrible ones. And now, a few years later, my acceptance rate is usually never above 20%. Now, of course, if you want to be a part of the new Dasher tier rewards programs, where you have to have a certain acceptance rate, you may not want to necessarily cherry pick the orders. However, for me, where I do DoorDash, I haven't noticed a huge difference in having a higher or lower acceptance rate, and that having any effect on the orders that they send me. Definitely test it out for yourself, because every area is different, but overall, it is okay to decline orders, and for your acceptance rate to literally be 1%. The second mistake I commonly see being made is not having the proper car setup. Having a designated and clean, organized space already set up for orders to go when you're transporting them, picking them up, and so on will not only keep the orders from getting everywhere or you mixing them up, but also it'll just make it so much faster, which in turn means you'll be making more money per hour. I recommend testing with your hot bag that the order will fit in that space evenly and securely, and also make sure you have plenty of drink holders available. They do sell ones on Amazon that hold like 5, 6, 7 drinks, or you can also just go to a fast food restaurant and ask for some extra drink holders and keep them in your car in case you have a multitude of drinks and you don't have anywhere to put them. Another mistake is not speaking up at restaurants. Oftentimes, restaurants will have a place for Dashers to wait if it isn't a restaurant that has orders you can just grab off the shelf, and this still can apply. But I can't tell you how many times I've gone into these restaurants and see other Dashers waiting, but they haven't given the name of the order. And as soon as I get a hold of an employee and let them know that I have an order, usually all the other Dashers follow suit, but turns out they've been waiting for a long time for no reason because usually their orders are also ready. Even if it's a restaurant where you pick up the orders from a shelf, if you don't see your order, it still could be a good practice to just let them know that you are there, because they may move your order up in the line, or they might be able to give you an estimated wait time and you can decide if you want to drop the order or not. Or altogether, it could have already been picked up and you might be waiting for no reason. Another mistake I have personally made is not having the Dash Direct card. For the first 2 years of dashing, I never signed up for it, which meant I either had to pay the hefty $1.99 cash out fee, or I had to wait days after my dash was done to get my money deposited into my account. The Dash Direct card only takes a minute to sign up, then they'll send you the card, and it's essentially a debit card. This way here, you don't have to pay a fee and you don't have to wait, because as soon as you're done with your dash, it is automatically deposited right onto your card with no fee, no wait, nothing. The card also has a bunch of benefits, one being a percentage back from gas, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do an entire video on the card, break down all the benefits and everything about it, so watch out for the video because I'll be posting that soon. Another mistake I see being made is not doing the math, having your own algorithm, or at least just having your own rules when it comes to accepting orders. In order to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time and not driving a million miles, it's important to look at all the details of an order offer. Typically, you want to follow the $2 or $3 per mile rule, meaning if the order is 5 miles, you ideally want to be getting somewhere around $10 to $15. Obviously, this isn't going to be the case with every order, but if you're not trying to get into the reward tier system and you don't care about your acceptance rate, you want to try and cherry pick the orders and get orders that are similar to that. It's also important to know the map of where you're going to be working. This way here, if you see an order is going 5 miles this way, 5 miles that way, you can see if it is going on a highway or a really busy area, so you can get an idea of how long it's actually going to take to complete the order. It's also good to be familiar with the map, because if the order is taking you way out of your zone or just really far away from restaurants and you won't be able to accept an order after dropping it off without driving all the way back to where you started, you may want to reconsider, but it's of course your discretion. It's also important when considering accepting an order, what type of restaurant it's picking up from, if the restaurant typically has a long wait time, or any other obstacles you may have to face when picking up the order. All of these things are good to factor in when looking at an order, and of course the more orders you do, the easier it'll be to spot out which orders are worth it and which ones aren't. Another mistake, which obviously is going to happen when you're first starting out anything, is just not paying attention to the details, or just overlooking them. Unfortunately, restaurants sometimes aren't very good at communicating, so when you show up to the restaurant and you're picking up your order, make sure you check the order details for any drinks, desserts, anything extra that you have to grab. This way here, you can keep your ratings up, and it's just a smooth and easy process. Also, when you're delivering the order, make sure to double check the address on the mailbox or door with the address that is in the app, and if it doesn't make sense, contact the customer, because you don't want to risk getting a contract violation for the customer saying that you didn't deliver the order. If you've watched my other videos, you would know that another mistake is not multi-apping. Obviously, this may not work for everyone, but if you're in a semi-busy area, it is a good idea to have multiple apps going at the same time. I know this may feel really overwhelming, but it is really important. If you have multiple apps, you're less likely to be waiting around for an order. And we all know that feeling when you're sitting waiting 20, 30, 45 minutes for an order from the same app, and it's just not happening. Multi-apping gives you access to a lot more orders on different platforms. Some of them may pay higher, you may get access to more shop and pay orders, and you might be able to stack orders from the same restaurant from 2 different apps going to the same place. If you do want to start multi-apping, I do suggest starting small, meaning taking one order from, let's say, Doordash and one from Uber from the same restaurant and hopefully going to the same place. Again, it isn't going to work all the time, or it may not work at all where you're trying to dash, but it is worth a try. The last mistake is being blinded by DoorDash's tactics. I know this one may sound confusing, but DoorDash is a huge company, and so they're going to try to do everything they can to push out as many orders and as fast as they can for the lowest amount of pay to dashers. From what I've seen other people say and my own experience, earn by time, although you may see $16, $17, $18 an hour, although it may seem enticing, especially if you're coming from a job paying less per hour, it's not worth it. In most places, it is possible to earn around $20 an hour and upwards of $30 to $40 an hour during the lunch and dinner shift, and by doing earn by time, you're really limiting your earnings. The actual description of earn by time does say that it is typically orders with low to no tips at all, so you can't really count on hidden tips for these orders. And since you are only getting paid from the time you accept the order to the time you drop it off, you still aren't getting paid for the time in between orders or on a long drive back from an order, which typically these orders are higher miles, meaning it may take 20 minutes and 10 miles to drive back, and you're not getting paid for any of it. Also, when it comes to their tactics, they try and make these new rewards tiers, or what they used to call top dasher, sound really great, but in reality it is not much different or any difference at all, and it isn't worth trying to accept a million orders just to get your percentage up to maybe make a little bit more money, in my opinion. Again, these are just tips and advice from my own experience and others I have observed, and of course you can dash however you like because that's the beauty of these jobs. I hope you found this video helpful, and be sure to comment if you have any other tips for new dashers. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.